Hello everyone, my name is Blake and welcome to Walk the Parks. Today we're going to go on a hike in Arches National Park, and this is a short hike which is going to be awesome, and it is called the Skyline Arch Trail. This trail is only about half a mile, even less than half a mile round trip, and leads to a cool arch. This is the trailhead right here. You can see there's a little bit of kind of parallel parking, not too much, maybe room for like 10, 12 cars at the most. And as you can see here, we're looking at a picture of the arch, but then right behind the sign, you can actually see Skyline Arch itself. This hike is worthwhile, though, because you can get up right next to the arch, and it's kind of nice. This hike is located in the Devil's Garden portion of Arches National Park. And if you watch the video at the end, it'll show you exactly where the trailhead is. Basically, if you follow the road in the park all the way to the end, it does kind of a roundabout to turn you around at the Devil's Garden trailhead. And then really, if you were to go that far, you just kind of go around and it's just a couple minutes down the road from there. But for better reference than those directions I just gave, you can watch the end of this video. As you can see, the trail is pretty well established here. The only strange part of this trail as far as navigation is I noticed on the way back that there was quite a trail split, so just keep that in mind. I don't know exactly what the right one is. I'm pretty sure I'm going the right one on out here. It can be a bit challenging to follow trails sometimes in this type of terrain, but as always, try to do your best to stay on trail because don't want to cause any undue impact. Best time to visit Arches National Park is for sure either the spring or the fall. The issue is in summertime, it is super hot, and as you can see, there's really not that much shade. I say that as we go through a small patch of shade, but not very good shade. So just keep that in mind. There's not much shade. It can be super hot in the summer and really just not that much fun due to all the heat and sun. And in the wintertime, it can actually get quite cold here. I know a lot of people who haven't explored the desert too much might be hard to realize, but man, it gets freezing cold here, and there can be even snow and ice in this region, believe it or not. And just a couple safety reminders. Just always remember to bring water and some snacks on a hike. You never know when. Maybe you'll find somewhere really cool and you want to hang out for a while, or maybe something worse happens, and you kind of have to take a break for a while, or somebody in your party does. It's always good to be prepared and at least have some water and snacks, even if someone needs to, take an hour-long break to rest or something like that, then you have food and water so you're not worried about it. Some nice kind of sage and juniper. Hike is pretty ideal right here because you really don't have to be worried about too much. There's not really much elevation gain. The trail is well marked. It's scenic. Kind of like it because it's just kind of a mellow half-mile trail. You get this beautiful view of the Skyline Arch here. So how are arches formed? So basically this area, there's a whole bunch of sandstone, and this area in particular, it forms these kind of pinnacles and fins. You can kind of see some pinnacles over to the left, and ahead of us is kind of a fin, which is kind of a long and tall, similar to a fish fin. So basically these fins form, and then once the fins form, like over a long period of time, in the winter time, water will go in the tiny cracks in the rocks, and then it'll expand when it freezes, and then eventually rock breaks off of the fins as a result of that. And in some instances, particularly in Arches National Park and the surrounding area, can create arches as a result. So basically there's just a whole bunch of erosion or kind of cracking. What's the difference between a natural bridge and an arch, you may ask? Well, you've come to the right place. A arch is formed by the process that I just explained, where basically it becomes fins and then rocks break apart. But a natural bridge is formed by water, so maybe just by water and the erosion forces of water. See, and before we know it, we're at the end of the trail. So I pretty much just went up a little bit farther just to get a better view. There's our Skyline Arch. You can really tell from there. It is kind of like the skyline, I suppose. Pretty cool. One of the things, though, that I've learned in my travels is that an arch and a bridge are frequently mislabeled. So there's some, it's similar to like lakes and ponds. I like to say, like some ponds are, there's all sorts of, some people have this diehard definition, but as far as naming conventions, I have seen a lot of ponds that are lakes and lakes that are ponds, based on what anyone's definition is. And the same is true for arches. Some arches are formed by water, and people just call it an arch, and then other natural bridges people call an arch, but they were formed by water. So, an interesting little fact. Just remember, in all these areas, try to leave no trace, and the main ethics behind that is to kind of leave only footprints, take only pictures. You can see a bunch of people have left footprints in the sand here, and I took a couple pictures, so we've done pretty good. I don't think I left anything other than that, so just kind of do your best for that. This is a nice, kind of mellow trail. The parking lot is kind of small, so you're unlikely to encounter too many people. I think we run into maybe 10 people total on this trail. Nice to get out and stretch the legs if you're just looking for a short hike. This would be an ideal one. I really love Arches National Park. It's so beautiful. Do be aware that, well, at least at the time I went, and I don't know if this is a pilot program, and I don't want to date this video and make the information incorrect, but at the time when I made this video, which was in 2024 in spring, basically there is a timed entry system going on. What that means is I actually had to purchase, I think it was like $2 or something, a entry into the park at a specific time. So you go on recreation.gov, you buy the specific time entry, you show up, and there you go. I was actually able to bypass this system because I was staying at the campground, which is really right next to this. Campground is fantastic. There's great hikes right from the campground, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful views. You're in similar terrain. It's literally just on the other side of that rock, really, where Skyline Arch is, which is just gorgeous. But I listened to a podcast recently, and that was on the list of top 10 busiest campsites in the national park system. I think it was booked 99% of the time. So keep that in mind. Very challenging place to find reservations, particularly if looking for a bunch of days in a row. But anyway, just be aware of make sure to go to recreation.gov, or probably a better source might be the Arches National Park website, and see what regulations are in place, and if they're going to keep the timed entry system. I just mentioned that campground, which is the only campground in the park, is extremely busy and fully booked. But have no fear. This is very close to Moab, Utah, and while Moab is still quite a small town on the spectrum of towns in the country and in the world, there is a significant amount of lodging available there, and there's a bunch of different campgrounds and stuff like that all around this area. This is a outdoor mecca, if you guys don't know. Absolutely beautiful. Really, this whole region is called the Colorado Plateau. A lot of people think that means that it is mostly in Colorado, but that's really not true. It's really in the whole Four Corners area, a little bit of Colorado, the way western part, and then, down to the Grand Canyon, and then into New Mexico. And, of course, all of southern Utah, like we're at right now. Absolutely beautiful place. So now, as you can see, we are approaching the trailhead again. I hope this video was helpful. Would love if you liked and subscribed. Let me know if I could do better. If you have any consequences when you're going to Arches National Park, I'd just love to hear from you. I try to respond to most things if I can. And have a wonderful day. But, here we go. This is going to be the directions. So, as I said, you kind of go through, and then that's parking for the Devil's Garden trailhead, which there is another video that I put up of the entire Devil's Garden loop, which is absolutely beautiful. Purpose of these videos is really just to, just kind of know what to expect, what the trailhead looks like, what the trail looks like, to see if maybe you want to do it, or maybe you're on a treadmill, it gives you something to watch that's better than, the news. Alternatively, I know there's a lot of people that can't make it here for whatever reason, whether that's a, financial, thing. You don't have free time. Could be some sort of just other limitation that prevents you from getting here. But just keep in mind that, you can watch these videos and at least check them out. Hopefully they're helpful. So you can see we're just going down here a little bit and maybe another minute or so, and then we'll be there. This whole road is really pretty. I think I might have taken videos of the whole road. Maybe I'll put that video up just because I have it. And there is parking on the left and the right side of the road for this hike. If things are full, maybe you could park right there as well. But yeah, so you can see there's a sign for it right there for Skyline Arch, and you can even see the arch. But just this little parking area says that on the left-hand side there, parallel parking, and then the right-hand side as well. So I'm just going to pull in the right here, and there we have it. Please let me know again if you have any questions. Let me know if you like this video. If you hated it, we probably have enough haters on the internet, but whatever. Good constructive criticism is always valued, so that'd be excellent. Thanks so much for your time, everybody. Have a great day.